All right, all right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Teacher Niv, it's Dr. Joe's reading and writing class. Today is October 2nd, 2025. If you can hear me clearly, can I get a 29 in the chat? If you can hear me clearly, can I get a 29 in the chat? Awesome. Derek can hear me clearly. Russell's probably writing some other number. Oh, no, he wrote out 29. Nice. Okay. Let's get started then. You know, it's only two of us today. Weird. Okay, let's start with the book of the day. One of us is lying. Derek, would you like to read this?
Play close attention and you might solve this. On Monday afternoon, five students at Bayview High walk into detention. Brown, the brain is veil-bound and never breaks the rule. Addie, the beauty, is the perfect, picture-perfect homecoming princess. Nate, the criminal, is already on probation for dealing. Cooper, the athlete, is the all-star baseball pitcher. And Simon, the outcast, is the creator of Bayview High's notorious gossip app. Only Simon never makes it out of that classroom. Before the end of detention, Simon's dead, and according to investigators, his death wasn't an accident. On Monday he died, but on Tuesday he planned to post juicy reveals about all four of his high-profile classmates, which makes all four of them suspects in his which makes all four of them suspects in his murder. Or are they the perfect patsies for a killer who's still on the loose? Everyone has secrets, right? What really matters is how far you would go to protect them.
Nice, nice. So this was made into a TV show as well, I think. I'm only basing that off of the cover over here, a Peacock original. But originally the book was highly recommended amongst people actually a bit older than you, but all the same, you guys are pretty advanced for um, your English level. So I also have to suggest books that are a bit more advanced. Okay, let's move on to the author of the day. Okay. James, you're the only other student currently. I don't know what's going on. Would you like to read this one?
Karen M. Manus is an American writer of young adult thrillers. She grew up in Massachusetts and earned a degree in journalism before working in marketing. Her first book, One of Us is Lying, 2017, became a huge success, spending years on bestsellers lists and inspiring a TV adaptation. Since then, she has written a popular standalones, including Two Can Keep a Secret and Nothing More to Tell. McManus is known for creating fast-paced mysteries full of secrets, lies, and unexpected twists, and she continues to live and write in Massachusetts.
Awesome. Thanks for reading that. Um, let's go on to the quote of the day. So, the quote reads, holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Karen McManus. What could this quote mean? Do you agree? Explain. Now, I have no idea why the class is so small right now. So, is there any event or something that I'm missing? Okay. If not, I'm going to up that to 5 minutes and I'm going to say 4 minutes minimum. Oh, Russell, were you going to say something?
Oh, I just said I have some internet issues.
Oh, okay.
So, back.
No worries. But I don't know if there's something I'm missing. I think there was one class I had where it was the week of a festival or something. And I missed most of my students. So if
I
it's
know. Today is Kim Kippur, the end of a Jewish uh New Year.
oh, oh, do we have any Jewish people in the class? I guess we
You
would.
know.
That's true. That's fair. Um, okay. I'd be surprised if that affected a lot of the class, but anyways, okay. Holding resentment is like drinking poison, waiting for the other person to die. What does this quote mean? Do you agree? Explain and give an example. I would love to see what you guys come up with for an example of how or and why resentment is like this. And if you disagree, then fine. Give an example of why it doesn't why the quote is wrong. Okay, 5-minute timer starting now. All right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. All right, Russell, go for it.
I believe that this quote by Karen McManus is conveying that if you hold grudges and resentment, you are only hurting yourself and not the other person who might not even know or care. An example is if your friend betrayed you in the past and you keep replaying that hurt in your head, then you are the one suffering emotionally and not them.
Awesome. Good point. I believe that this only hurting yourself, but the person might not even know or care. Awesome. This is a big point, right? Like they don't even most likely they won't know or care or even if they do, they don't know the extent, right? An example is referring to treating past. Awesome. Good point. Good point. Great response there, Russell. Okay, let's look at James. Oh, all right, James, would you like to read yours?
I think that this quote means that when you have negative emotion, it is like you are feeling horrible until the other person apologizes, forgets about it, or moves away. When they go away, the feeling of dissatisfaction goes away, like you are receiving the antidote to the poison.
What's coming in your negative emotions? When you have a negative emotion, so since you said when in there, you want to put a comma. It is like you are feeling horrible until the other person apologizes for it or moves away. When they go away, comma, then dissatisfaction goes away, like you are receiving an antidote to a poison. When you have negative emotions, okay, interesting. So until the other person. So the thing is, I don't think it's yeah. I can if the other person apologizes, that's fair. But these 2 points, when you hold resentment for someone, it's like it's not really exactly about what they think, right? Like you just are upset about something and you hate them for it and you just continuously think about it and whatnot. So I guess even if they forget about it or even if they move away, then you will likely still feel horrible. And I guess that's sort of what the quote is mostly about. Um, I guess when it says waiting for the other person to die, I don't think it's like I guess if they die, then they will maybe you might let go of the resentment, um but yeah, like even if they forget about it, I don't think you will let go of the resentment, right? Because it's about you feeling the resentment, not about them. Um any other responses? I think a lot of people joined a little bit later, right? But do we have any other responses in the meantime? No? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's move on to the vocab then. Can I get Ethan? Oh, sorry, Russell. Russell Rose's head. Russell, go for it.
Lurid, adjective. Shockingly vivid, sensational, or gruesome. The lurid detail of the story made Coraline shiver with unease. Ostentatious, adjective. Showy or designed to attract notice. The other mother's ostentatious feast seemed too perfect to be real. Somnolent, adjective. Sleepy or drowsy, causing sleepiness. The somnolent hum of the rain nearly lulled Coraline to sleep. Vex, verb. To annoy, frustrate, or worry. The locked door continued to vex Coraline, daring her to open it. Forlorn, adjective. Pitifully sad, abandoned, or lonely. The forlorn doll sat forgotten in its corner, its button eyes staring blankly.
Awesome. Thanks for reading those words. You guys know the drill. One paragraph or one sentence with all three words. Sorry, all five words. Starting now, 3 minutes. All right, all right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. Let me throw these in the chat if anyone wants to continue working. All right, Russell, start us off.
Ostentatious house during Halloween with its lurid details vex George, whose house during Halloween, in comparison, looks forlorn and could make someone almost fall asleep. Wait, no. Can make someone somnolent. Yeah. Uh, by looking at it and how basic it looked.
I just forgot how to spell the word. By looking at it and how basic it looked. Awesome. Very good. Ostentatious, lurid during house during Halloween in comparison. Ostentatious house. Vex George, whose house during whose house? Yeah. I would say we could offset this. In comparison, looks forlorn, and could make somnolent. Make some somnolent looking at. And how basic it look. Could make someone somnolent. I would say by looking at it and how basic it looked. I would by looking at it and how basic it looked. Yeah, I guess that's fair. It just sounds a little bit awkward. I would say by looking at how basic it looked, like combining it rather than having two separate points there. But regardless, looks good there, Russell. Also, I want you to type the names in regular letters. Pardon?
But Gaia always does that.
Your dad always says that?
No, Gaia.
Oh yeah, she always says that. Yeah. I mean, I agree with her. Uh I just want to, make sure that you could do it correctly a few times.
Oh man.
Just a few times and then you can go back. Anyways, Ethan, go for it.
The story of the forlorn child was very lurid, and the way the writing is set up is ostentatious. But many readers thought this book continued to vex them because of how slow the story is. And that made people very somnolent. I don't know how to say that thing.
Somnolent.
Somnolent.
Awesome. The story of the forlorn child is very lurid, and the way the writing is set up is ostentatious. The story is story of the forlorn child. The way the writing was, so this would also be was.
Okay.
Was set up. The story is ostentatious. Many readers thought this book continued to vex them because of how slow the story is. Sorry, it makes more sense to say the story of the forlorn child is very lurid. And then we could just get rid of that. I'm gonna do this. Many readers thought this book continued to vex them because of how slow the story is, and that made people very somnolent. So many readers thought this book continued to vex them. So, I mean, here what we could do is just say, like, many readers were either vexed or felt somnolent because of how slow the story was, right? This is just an awkward structure. But good point overall. James, would you like to read yours?
Somnolent Jimmy's ostentatious and lurid pig vexed others to steal him. This made Jimmy forlorn.
Awesome. Somnolent Jimmy's ostentatious and lurid pig that vexed others to steal him. Ostentatious and lurid pig vexed others to steal him. This made Jimmy forlorn. This is two separate, completely independent sentences. So this is actually technically two sentences. We could say which made Jimmy forlorn, right? So this, and then say which made Jimmy forlorn to keep it one. But if we just say this, then we have to separate it, and it has to be two independent sentences. Okay. All right. Let's get into the next section. So, I wanted to go over poetry and start doing some poetry analysis, but then I realized I am not sure if everyone has the tools for that. So let's start by going over a literary device every class, one or two. And then we can, halfway through, then we'll have enough familiarity to start using these literary devices when we analyze the poems. Okay, alliteration. Who here knows what alliteration is, like, before we even talk about it? One hand. Only one person? Okay. Then that's actually, then it's new for a lot of people. I thought this one it's one of the more common ones, but depends on if your teacher or whatever have mentioned it before. Can I get to James? James, can you read this one?
The whole
Yep.
page. Slide. Yeah. Oh, alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sound at the beginning of nearby words. It is most often used in poetry, prose, and speeches to create rhythm, emphasis, or mood. While writers use alliteration, create musically and rhythm, making writing more pleasing to the ear. Example, she sells seashells by the seashore. Emphasizes words or ideas. Draws attention to key phrases. Example, darkness dropped across the city. Sets a mood or tone. Can make a scene more eerie, playful, or intense. Example, whispering winds wound through the willows. Aids more memorability. Helps phrases stick in the readers or listeners' minds, often used in slogans or tongue twisters. Examples in literature from Forth, the fatal loins of these two foes, Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Traditional tongue twister.
Awesome. So a lot of literary devices, um, if you really get down to the core of why they're used, it sounds good, which makes the writing more sort of entertaining, which makes the writing more powerful. If it's more entertaining, it's more memorable, it's more powerful. Um, that's one thing. And that's like the I would say every literary device there is a component of that, but then especially the sound devices and stuff like that. Okay, so very straightforward in my opinion. Write a quick example of alliteration. One or two sentences. So like it could be even as simple as like, the fair breeze blew, the white foam flew. It's a little bit of a rhyme. The sounds are the same. Peter Piper picked a lot of the same consonants, the P sounds, etc. Okay, I guess I should put a timer for this. Let's say 1 minute. Doesn't have to be too crazy. All right. Time is up. We got a couple examples. Okay, Ethan says, actually, can you guys say them yourselves?
The drowy druid drew his dagger.
That's good. That's good. All right, Russell, would you like to read yours?
Sally silently slipped through the shimmering shadows.
Nice. Nice. Valid. All right, I guess that's all we have for the alliteration section. That is okay. All right, we have a lot more time than I thought we would for this. So, you know what? I think we have time for a hot take. We won't have time to debate the hot takes, maybe. But that's okay. So, you guys know the drill. Give us a hot take. Explain why this is your belief. Defend it. Remember to keep structure. Your hot take has to be one sentence and then defend your position. Defend your take in the following sentences, right? Just like in the structure of persuasive paragraph. Okay. I'm going to start the timer now. All right, all right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. I love hearing all your hot takes. So interesting how everyone has such, I don't know, different opinions on things that seem sort of regular or day to day. Okay. Ethan, start us off.
Lottery tickets are scams. For instance, say you bought all the lottery tickets in your local gas station. What are the chances you're gonna win? I would say your chances are pretty good, except for they banned that because a person did it once and made like millions. So now you can only buy a set amount. So the chances are way lower, and the probability of you hitting one is close to zero. They have a set amount, so no one person can buy it all out and make a huge profit.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't know that. So if you go to a gas station, you can't just buy all of the lottery tickets.
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. For instance, okay, so,
I know, like someone bought like a bunch of lottery tickets and they made like a lot of money.
oh, say you bought a lot of lottery tickets at the gas station. What are the odds? What are the chances that you're going to? So pretty good, except they banned that because the person did it once and made like millions. So I'm scared. Actually, so now you can only buy a set amount. Okay, so we don't need a so in the beginning. We'll just say now you can only buy a set amount. So the chances are way lower and the probabilities that you're getting. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, lottery tickets are a scam. The chance of you winning are like less than the chance of you getting hit by a bolt of lightning or yeah. Um, so it's just over time you will lose a ton of money. Same thing as casinos. You will always lose a lot of money. Even if you win big once or twice,
What?
you always will lose money in your lifespan.
Also, in some way, almost all casinos rig up the games.
Yeah, like they're not even rigged technically. Like they're very clear about the odds of winning, and the odds are always low. So
They have a set like regulation for how high or how low the probabilities are, and some
yep.
casinos set it down like below the bar.
Hmm. I used to work for a slot machine company, and the return to player, if you play 100 million times, you will get back 90% of your money, but you will always lose 10%. So that's how the math works out, like statistically.
Yeah.
So you're always losing money. Otherwise, casinos wouldn't make any money, right? Okay, Austin, would you like to read yours?
Drake is better than Kendrick because he can do way more stuff. Kendrick is a great rapper, sure, but Drake makes music for all kinds of moods, partying, heartbreak, chilling, everything. He changes his style all the time and still stays on top. Kendrick drops an album every few years, but Drake's always dropping hits. You don't have to think super hard to enjoy Drake's songs. They just sound good. That's why more people listen to him.
And that's why it's better. Awesome. I'm a little biased here. I was born in Toronto, so Drake is always going to be my hip hop goat. Are you from Toronto, or you just is this like a Toronto bias for you as well?
No, I'm from LA.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then it's an honest take because Kendrick Lamar is from LA, I think, right? Or something.
Yeah,
Okay, there you go. Okay, wow. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree completely. Although I don't know, is this a hot take in your generation?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it is. I just disagree.
You disagree? Are you a Kendrick fan?
Yeah, I mean, they're both really good. I just feel like Kendrick is better than Drake for many reasons.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it's fair. I think Kendrick is a better rapper, but I think overall I prefer Drake. Um, anyways, that's interesting that this is a hot take in your generation. Because and also I guess maybe because you're from LA, that might also play a part. I think in Toronto it's like and New York and stuff, it's more like 60% Drake, 40% Kendrick Lamar. That's my understanding. Okay, Russell, I'm very excited to see this.
Most people don't like coffee. They like milkshakes with caffeine. Think about it. Walk into any cafe and 90% of drinks aren't black coffee. They're vanilla lattes, caramel macchiatos, or iced concoctions topped with whipped cream and syrup. If coffee were truly beloved for its natural flavor, people won't drown it in milk, sugar, and flavor shots. All the all the way where coffee traces back to the Mayans, they drank coffee as bitter cacao makes mixed in with a variety of spices and chilies, instead of hiding that under sugar and foam.
Interesting. Most people don't like coffee, they like milkshakes with caffeine. Think about it. Walk into any cafe. Good use of the punctuation. And 90% of the drinks aren't black coffee. They're vanilla lattes, caramel macchiatos, or iced concoctions. Top of if coffee were truly beloved for its natural flavor, people wouldn't drown it in milk, sugar, and flavor shots. All the way where coffee traces back to Mayans. They drank coffee as bitter cocoa mixed in with a variety of spices and chilies and hiding it under sugar foam. Isn't I'm not too sure. Class, chime in the chat if you disagree with me. But isn't mixing it with spices similar or the same as hiding, quote unquote, hiding it with sugar and foam? Like, I just think that maybe this isn't the best for your argument because someone might attack that point. So I feel like you could say like, I feel like maybe in situations like this, sometimes it's actually more persuasive to just hide a point, if it might be used as ammunition against your take. Um, so yeah, that's just something to note. Like if you're going to say this, you definitely need to clear up how that's different than hiding it with sugar and foam, or avoid the point altogether, which is also valid sometimes. This is very interesting. I don't know if I agree because I think it's similar to like I love um I love like vanilla flavored things, but I wouldn't eat like vanilla beans raw. And like similar to coffee, I do occasionally drink black coffee, but most of the time I'm drinking like a macchiato or like something with an espresso shot. So um I'm more into the coffee flavor. So I guess maybe if you also strengthen this, you could say most people don't like coffee. They might enjoy, or somewhere here, they might enjoy coffee flavors, but they don't actually like coffee itself or something. Like just if you can make this a bit more specific, it might even be much harder to attack. Very interesting. All a very, very good hot takes today, guys. But I wish we had a couple more, but it's okay. Okay, let's move on to the article of the day. You're probably doing small talk wrong. Okay, before we go into this, who here thinks they're good at small talk? Put your hand up if you're good at small talk. Okay, who here thinks they're bad at small talk? Put your hand up if you think you're bad at small talk. Okay, we got one. Okay, who here thinks they're medium at, like, neutral or decent at small talk? Okay, so we just don't have people raising their hands. That's okay. So this poll accomplished nothing. Okay, let's get into it. Can I get, say, Russell, would you like to read this?
There's a moment in human connection that defies easy explanation. That sudden electric feeling when you meet someone and feel your minds merge. It happened to the two of us when we met at a psychology symposium. Our small talk during a break quickly gave way to playful theories about coffee drinkers versus tea drinkers. We went to find seats together, unaware that this conversation was the start of a decade-long collaboration and friendship. Where does that spark come from exactly? What makes someone feel like a lifelong friend after just a couple of minutes? People tend to assume it's similarity, that they are especially likely to hit it off with someone who shares their background or personality traits. But in our research, we found that many of the strongest bonds come from existing similarity and more from riffing playfully. In these moments, people create a little world that belongs just to them, a process we call building a shared reality. Collaborative riffs are surprisingly central to our mental well-being. They're the glue that binds us together, adds color to our lives, and gives us a sense of purpose.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay, before we go on, who believes this? Strongest, or where is this? That collaborative riffs, like quick small talk and things like that, are the glue that binds us together. Anyone feel strongly about small talk? Small talk being like, you're walking around, you see someone with nice shoes, you compliment their shoes, and you talk about it, or the weather, or etc., things like that. Okay, maybe not yet. I think this also is a bit more relevant as you Russell's like, absolutely not. I think as you get older, this small talk and effort into meeting and talking to new people becomes more relevant. Okay. Let's get Awesome. Can you read this?
And yet, our culture's conversational rituals revolve not around playful co-creation, but around exchanging formalities. Consider the small talk classic. How's your weekend? A convention dictates you keep your answer brief and toss the question back. Good. Just being some Netflix. You? The conversation proceeds predictably. Took my dog to the park since it was so nice. Oh, I have a dog. 2. What kind is yours? A lab mix. He's 3. Both parties walk away with information but still worlds apart. They may think they're playing it safe, but that safety traps them in disconnection. Instead, if these two people strayed from the script and ripped off each other, they might begin to feel that electric buzz of sing and sync. It's like being a kid again. Children skip the boring getting to know you phase and jump straight into pretend play, transforming into dragon slaying knights or shipwrecked sailors. How's your weekend? Good, but I spend way too much time watching people make tiny food on TikTok. Whoa, like dollhouse size? Yes. If you want to learn to make a lasagna in a bottle cap, let me know. That's hilarious. We could organize a tiny food potluck and fit the entire spread on this coaster. Huh. And we need tiny furniture too. Shall we ask that guy over there wearing Carhartt to build it?
Awesome. Awesome. So fun little jokes and things with strangers. It's great. Okay. Next, can I get James? James, would you like to read this one?
research shows that this sort of riffing pays off. In one study, we paired strangers to chat online about ambiguous images. One prompt showed a drawing of three people sitting around an empty chair and asked, "What are the people in the picture talking about?" Some simply described what they saw, but two participants imagined a sequence gone wrong because of a character named Carol. Sans, ha 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 ha. Damn it, Carol, you forgot the whatever. It was the co-creators, the one who treated conversations as an opportunity to build a momentary reality belonging uniquely to them, who felt the strongest spark and were most eager to talk again. Riffing doesn't require being naturally funny or witty, just being attentive and embracing spontaneity. Like any conversational skill, it takes practice. When riffing speakers resist the urge to counter every observation with their own example, instead of building bridges to new ideas, that reminds me of, or tossing in a "can you imagine if," they refer to earlier parts of the conversation to create inside jokes. Looking forward to our miniature potluck committee.
Awesome. And last but not least, can I get Ethan? Ethan, can you read this one?
Trifling doesn't require being natural or funny or witty. Just means just being attentive and embracing spontaneity. Like in any conversational skills, it takes practice. When rightfully speaker resists the urge to counter every observation with their own example, instead of building bridges to new ideas. That reminds me of, or tossing in a can you imagine if they refer to earlier parts of the conversation to create inside jokes. Looking forward to military potluck committee. Rifling isn't just a new acquaintance. Over time, it creates a feeling of having merged minds and inhabiting a private universe. Patty Smith describes her relationship with her husband as a silent synchronization of the drawers and gears of a common mind. We recap these benefits throughout our lives. Couples who report high levels of shared realities riff more and not only do they feel closer, but they also experience deeper commitment and support. College students who have developed shared realities with mentors or study partners and higher GPAs. Healthcare workers during the first wave of the COVID pandemic felt that they had created their own reality with with their significant others found their work more meaningful. It feels that we're on the same wavelength that sustains us through challenges and gives us our lives purpose. Our aim in conversations then shouldn't to be mind for surface level common commonalities or go on a charm offensive. Instead, we should ask ourselves, what can we create together in this moment?
Awesome, awesome. Okay, thank you for that. Um, Riffing in general with strangers, I guess that is also considered small talk. But just in case anyone wasn't aware, riffing is just like, you're just making jokes with strangers, and in this particular moment, let's say you and a stranger are walking on the sidewalk, someone in front of you does something crazy, then you joke about it to the stranger next to you. That would be considered like riffing. Okay, let's get into it. This one I will give you guys a bit more time. Let's do 7 minutes. We also have a smaller class, so more opportunity for you guys to write. Do you enjoy small talk? Are you good at it, or do you dread making conversation, finding yourself at a loss of words and stuck in a predictable sort of script? 7-minute timer. Yeah, think 2 times where you're sort of forced to talk to someone that you don't really know or whatever, or forced to make friends with someone, like new partner in a group project or something, or meeting new classmates, things like that, right? Or meeting your parents, friends, kids, sometimes that might be awkward too. And then you have to make small talk and etc. Okay, starting the timer now. There is 5 minutes left. Russell, I see your time emoji. I don't know if that's what you were trying to get at. All right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. All right, Ethan, start us off.
I dread making a conversation with anyone I don't already know. But if I do start a conversation, it typically ends well, as me and the person I talk with are now our new friends. In conclusion, I don't like small talk, but I'm pretty good at it.
This would be with the person with the person and I. Sorry, the person I talk to and I don't know. Me and the person I talk to are new friends. In conclusion, it's only small talk, but I am pretty good at it. Okay, interesting. So you don't like the initiation. You don't like the introducing yourself or starting it, but you are sorry.
Bringing it,
Sorry.
starting like after we engage into a conversation, I'm good at it. I'm just not good at starting conversations.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Starting it, I feel like is the bigger, like that's the hard part. And then but then actually, yeah, keeping up the conversation is also a skill. So yeah, you're halfway there. Okay. Good stuff, Ethan. Russell, keep us going.
I usually don't engage in conversations that feel dead or forced, including situations where I have to introduce myself to a stranger. It's not something I do naturally or with much enthusiasm. The only times I really make the effort to initiate a conversation are when I have a new partner or situation where I will be with that person for an extended period of time. However, I generally don't mind small talk and riffing as long as it's not to a complete stranger.
Interesting. So I usually don't engage or for situations where it's okay. It's not something I do naturally, but great. Great. Okay, yeah, that's fair. At your age, I think that's okay, but I highly recommend everyone get in the practice of being able to talk to strangers. Don't go talk Don't, okay, this could be a safety hazard. Talk to strangers in your school, like other students and things like that. Just so you guys get in the practice of doing that because it becomes harder once you go off to, university or in your first job, things like that. It's important to be able to have small talk with people and introduce yourself to people and things like that. But good analysis. Interesting analysis. Both of you are more along the lines of you really, really, really try not to get into a position where you have to make small talk. But if you do get put in that situation, you can handle yourself. So which is fine. Okay. Anybody else? Last call on this. 7 minutes and only 2 responses. Come on, guys. That's a bit ridiculous. That is a bit ridiculous. Okay, the next one I really expect James, Ethan, Austin, Derek to respond. Okay, I like this one. What advice do you have for others who dread or struggle with making small talk? Even though everyone here said they also dreaded a bit. What advice would you have for someone who also dreads it, but maybe like what do you think they should do, even if you don't know for sure? Like what do you think are some good steps to making small talk, getting better at making small talk, etc. Um, this one maybe we'll do shorter period of time because people are struggling to respond here. 5 minutes starting now. All right, all right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. We only have Russell and Ethan right now, but I really want responses from Austin, James, and Derek as well. All right, James with a response. Okay, Ethan, would you like to read yours?
My advice is to stay calm and just start bringing up a past thing that you saw the person at. For example, a sporting event, Asian festival, etc. You can also try bringing up one of your hobbies to see if they like that too. In conclusion, you should bring up a past experience where you have seen this person and try to see if any of your hobbies connect to theirs.
Awesome. Okay, you can also try to bring up one of your hobbies. See if you like it too, inclusion, comma. You should bring up past experience recently. Yeah. No, that's fair. I think that's good advice. Basically, just try and throw things out there about yourself or something that connects you to them right now. See what works. See what you guys can connect to and talk about, right? Sometimes even just start talking about your own hobbies. Yeah, and then, like you mentioned, and um that's a good strategy, in my opinion. Even a lot of people, even if they don't do the hobby themselves, they will be interested and they will talk to you more about it, right? Cool. Okay, Russell, would you like to read yours?
If you tend to avoid small talk, try thinking of it less as meaningless chatter and more as a gentle bridge to deeper connection. You don't have to force fake enthusiasm. Ask simple, genuine questions about what the other person enjoys or share small observations about your surroundings.
And more as a gentle bridge to deeper connection. If you don't have to force fake enthusiasm. Ask. Simple change. Awesome, awesome. Share small observation about your surroundings. Yeah. I think asking questions about what the other person enjoys is great, is maybe the best way, but at the same time, it is also very hard to ask. Like, unless you just straight up say, like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? Which is fair. That's a good question, but I think a lot of people are sort of would shy away from that. Okay, James, would you like to read yours?
I think that by trying to find something that you both can relate to can be an effective method for beginning small talk. Another method is telling the other person how you feel about the activity you both are doing. Both methods can be extremely useful when you both have something to like in common.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, you guys did a great job analyzing this. In my opinion. Oh, we have one more. Um, yeah, I think finding something in common is generally the best. Austin, what about you?
If you tend to avoid small talks, try asking simple questions like, what do you enjoy or how's your day been? Listen closely and respond to what they say. Stay relaxed, smile, and show genuine interest. That's the key to good small talk.
Awesome, awesome. I would say it also kind of depends on how small the small talk is going to be, right? If it's just a casual stranger, you're probably going to talk to them for 20 seconds and then you're going to move on. How's your day been is great. But if you want a some better small talk, then what do you enjoy is better. Because how's your day is good. How has your day been is good, but the only problem is they might say, "Oh, it's been good." And then that's it, right? Then the conversation dies right there. So that's something to keep in mind. Awesome. Okay. And I guess this is a short one. Um, have you ever had small talk that led to a meaningful connection and the quote unquote electric buzz of being in sync? If so, how did you move past the script of boring formulaic exchanges? So, I mean, at one point, all your friends were strangers to you, right? So, you guys have all had some sort of small talk that led to connection, right? So, how did that happen? Why do you think it worked, etc.? I'll give you guys a short period of time, just 3 minutes. Starting the timer now. Okay, time is up. Let's see what we came up with. Ethan, would you like to read yours?
I typically just have a long conversation. In those conversations, there are a lot of connecting going on with the person and I. But after a conversation, I either become close friends or just like chill buddies.
Okay. Those conversations, okay. That's fair. chill buddies, but you've never, have you, or maybe I should ask, put a 1 in the chat if you've made a really good, let's say one of your closest friends were made in the past year or two. Or are all your closest friends friends that you've had for longer than that you met much before? Oh, okay, very cool. Okay, nice, nice. It's good to know that like you guys are making close friends. Russell, would you like to read yours?
I normally chat with strangers when they sit next to me, and after the usual getting to know you part, I think that is where I either leave and forget them or start the small talk and become close friends.
Nice, yeah, awesome. Good stuff, good stuff. Where do you guys normally, I guess you guys can have small talk when you're like at some sort of sports or things like that. You're just on the sidelines. Yeah, that's good for people your age. That's pretty, I guess that's pretty common. The homework question is on the whole, would you say that you're a good conversationalist? Are there areas of talk and listening that you would like to improve? What recent conversation, big or small, have you had that you found especially satisfying, and why? Due next Thursday. Yeah, that is all for today, guys. I will see you all next week. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.